Have you ever gone to work before as a nurse and felt anxious before your shift even started? And we're not talking anxiety or feeling anxious because of the patients, but because of the persons you're working with. Yes, if that sounds familiar to you, then this video is for you because toxic environments, they do exist in nursing. And I just want to just talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the biggest reasons why nurses leave the bedside. And this is one of them. All right. If you're new here, I'm Stacey, and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Think Nursing, where we talk about nursing. I talk about real stories as it relates to nursing. We talk about burnout, money, growth. We talk about protecting your peace. Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about toxic environments in nursing and how to recognize them, and that they really do exist and it's affecting a lot of nurses over there. But the first thing we want to ask is, what exactly is a toxic environment? Because sometimes we might say, oh, it's a bad day. No, it's not only a bad day or a busy shift, it's a pattern. So if the environment is like that every constant day, yes, it's a pattern. So it's when disrespect, poor leadership, unsafe staffing, and all of those things are becoming normal. We're going to have to try to identify the signs. So first, constant understanding. If the unit is always short, assignments are unsafe, your management is acting like it's normal, then that's a red flag. The second thing is when you talk about bullying and you have nurse to nurse hostility, new grads being talked down to, eye rolling, gossip, nurses being afraid to ask questions, things like that. You have lack of support from management when concerns are ignored, incidents are brushed off, and you just feel as though, you're disposable. You also have high turnover for nurses. People are just transferring from one department and just quitting. And then you also have this fear culture. If you're scared to speak up, call out sick, or report safety issue, that's not healthy. Those are signs of toxicity in the department. One thing about toxic environment is that they don't just stay at work, they follow you home as well. These are sometimes, seen in persons having sleep problem, burnout, depression, they're feeling anxious all the time. And some persons start to question their confidence, their skills, and even their decision as to why they became a nurse. And let's just be clear about it. It's not something that is personal. It's not a personal weakness. It is a system problem that needs to be addressed. And once we're able to address and fix that problem, then usually you'll find resolved, in those symptoms that persons might exhibit. New graduates and international nurses are especially more vulnerable to these because they are the ones that are still learning. They're still trying to prove themselves. They're often afraid to speak up because they don't want to look like, they're incompetent or ungrateful. But toxicity thrives in silence, and you deserve a supportive environment, not a survival mode. And so, that is something we need to look into as nurses or, as management. But here's what we can do when we find ourselves in those kind of situations. First, you're going to document everything. Unsafe assignments, incident, conversations, write them down. Keep a copy for yourself. Always use the chain of command when, it's safe to do so. You want to go ahead and protect your mental health. Make sure you're taking those breaks. Use your pay time off. Talk to someone you trust. You want to also build your exit plan, update your resume, networking, look for better opportunities outside. And remember, leaving a toxic job is not a failure. It's more of self-preservation. You hear a lot about persons having burnout. Yes, it's because of those mental health problems. It's because of things like these. So there are supportive units that are out there, good managers that are out there, and healthier teams that are out there that you can be a part of. You just don't need to know where you're going to be looking for them. You understand? But one thing I want to say is the longer you wait and the more you tolerate those kind of, environment, it's difficult for you to get out of it. So if you're a nurse and you're watching this and you feel as though you're struggling, I want you to know that you're not alone because you have some persons that are out there dealing with it. You're not weak. Nursing does need you, but you just have to make sure that you're not costing your life or your health because of nursing. So if this video does help you, I want you to go ahead and share the video with someone who you think needs to hear this. And always remember, your license, your peace, and your well-being, it matters most. And if you are in a situation where you think those are threatened, then you need to just pack up your things and go. Yeah, pack up your things and go. I know it's hard or it's easier said than done, but that's the most important thing in terms of protecting your health, your mental health, and your well-being. as well as yourself as a nurse, because you need to be making money and taking care of patient years later on. Okay, so remember to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page at Think Nursing, and more importantly, turn the notification bell on and watch the videos as I post them, and continue to share your insight into the topics that I discuss. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.